Welcome to a Splatoon Switch idea slash discussion video. We got confirmation that the Switch will not be doing any sort of second screen gaming, so you can't take the main console out of the dock and use it like the Wii U Gamepad. So it kind of led me to questions about how Splatoon would work on the Switch, just because it did make heavy use of the Wii U Gamepad. So that is what I will be discussing. I will be discussing some of my ideas for Splatoon without the Wii U Gamepad. So I think Splatoon Switch will be a less fluid experience than the Wii U, just because obviously on the Wii U you can select what person you want to spawn to, or say like if you're in a tricky situation, you got somebody coming up towards you with a roller, you could quickly tap down to your spawn point on the Wii U Gamepad and then you jump back to your spawn point. So yeah, the Wii U Gamepad made Splatoon really fluid. So without that, it's just going to take a little bit more time to do some of the stuff that you did do on the Wii U Gamepad. So let's talk about how the devs could get around the issue of teleporting or squid jumping to a teammate or back to your spawn point. So at this moment in time, the D-pad is used to make certain call outs. So I think in Europe it's different to America. So you got come on, and you got another one as well which I can't remember from the top of my head. They aren't really that important to the gameplay. So what the devs could do is get rid of those callouts from the D-pad and replace them with an option to teleport or squid jump to your teammates. So your teammates will be numbered from 1 to 3. That's if they don't expand matches to include more players. I think they will just stick to 4v4. So if they do stick to 4v4, then you could have your other teammates numbered 1 to 3. So if you press up on your D-pad, you will squid jump to teammate 1. If you press right, you will squid jump to teammate 2. Press left and you will squid jump to teammate 3. But if you press down on the D-pad, then you will squid jump back to your spawn point. So that is one way they could get around that issue of squid jumping to a teammate. Now the Wii U Gamepad has a map on the screen which is just very handy. So say like if you are running around, you're not really paying attention to how the match is going. So say like if you are in turf war, you could be like using it as team deathmatch, but pretty much if you look at the Wii U Gamepad screen, you can look at how the match is panning out, so you can look at what areas you need to go to actually make your team win. So that will be a feature that I personally will miss, the ability just to look down at my gamepad screen and look at the map and just to see how the match is going. So how they could replace that is by pressing minus on the controller. I'm not sure whether minus is being used at this moment in time. So basically you could press a button, it could be minus, it could be a totally different button, but pretty much you could press a button and then a map will appear on screen as well. And maybe this is how they could get around the ink strike as well, because on the ink strike, when you did use that, you had to place where you wanted to put it on the Wii U Gamepad screen. So maybe when you press down on your right analog stick, maybe instead of using the screen, maybe actually if you are out on the go, then maybe obviously you will actually use the touch screen. But obviously when you are at home, then obviously you can't have that second screen experience. So what they could do to get around that is when you press right, or when you press down on the right analog stick, a map appears on screen and then you will select where you want to put your ink strike. We've had similar situations with Call of Duty on the Wii U with the lightning strike. That is how it worked on the Wii U when you are using the Wii U Pro controller, and the same with Call of Duty Ghost for the relevant kill streak in that as well. So they could definitely do that. I don't think they should get rid of the ink strike because of the lack of a second screen experience. So that is another way they can get around that. So yeah, in terms of the map issue, I think what they're going to have to do is put in a mini map onto the HUD. So they're going to have to rejumble the HUD a little bit. So in the top left currently you've got the time. So what I would do is put the mini map in the top left, and then what I would do is put the time in the top right, and then I would move your special ability. I can't remember the specific name, but I will put that sort of information with your abilities that you are using, as well as your special ability. So say like the Kraken, that sort of stuff appears in the top right. What they could do is move that to the bottom left, or maybe they could put the time in the bottom left instead of the top right. I'm not really sure how they could work around that. And then maybe in the bottom right you put in the D-pad with your options to teleport or squid jump to a teammate or back to your spawn point. So the HUD is going to be a little bit more cluttered, I think, in Splatoon Switch, just because you don't have the second screen to take some of that stuff away from the main TV screen. But yeah, I think actually the problem with being able to play your game out on the go, especially if it is a touchscreen, then maybe it could provide a advantage to actually take out your screen controller and play it out on the go, because maybe you could place your ink strike obviously by touchscreen, but then again you still don't have a second screen there, so again you're still going to have to press a button to bring up a map on screen to see how the match is panning out, and then you're going to have to still use the D-pad to teleport to a teammate. So they're just some of my ideas how the Splatoon devs could get around the fact that there will not be any sort of second screen gameplay with Splatoon Switch. Like I said at the start, I think maybe, and I heard this in the Juices Loose podcast, but maybe people will look back on Splatoon Wii U as being the best version for Splatoon. Maybe like how people look back at Melee in terms of Smash Brothers. Maybe people will do the same about Splatoon, just because you've got the second screen there. It's just more handy to actually look down at your at your gamepad screen than to press a button and have a map appear on top of your gameplay on the TV screen. But maybe they could get around that issue where, say, like the map isn't necessarily like taking up the whole screen. Maybe it is a little bit transparent, so you can still see what's going on in the background. So say like if somebody is approaching you, about to spot you can, maybe when you're still looking at the map, actually maybe you could actually still control your character and shoot, and maybe that could be a situation there. Or if not, if you could see somebody approaching you, then maybe you could take that map away quickly and then splat your opponent. So they're just some of my ideas for how the devs could get around the lack of a second screen for the Switch version of Splatoon. Let me know some of your ideas in the comment section below. I am sure that I probably have missed out on some of the stuff that the Wii U Gamepad does in Splatoon. It's like the gyro. Hopefully the gyro will return in the Switch Pro controller, as well as the Joy-Con grip controller as well. Hopefully the Joy-Cons will offer some sort of gyro control as well. But they're just some of my ideas. Let me know yours in the comment section below. But until next time, I'm out of here for now. Goodbye.